welcome everyone to our Arcware Tech Hour, as you can see behind me. So, I want to welcome everyone to our webinar. I want all of you to feel comfortable, and today we are going to go on a fantastic journey where we will be exploring the Nvidia DLSS 4, thanks to Manolis and Manolis' insights. To explain who is who here, Manolis is our co-founder. He co-founded Arcware together with Dmitry Mistetsky, and he is our head of Unreal, which means that if you're ever stuck with any Unreal Engine applications, with pixel streaming, with our product, whatever happens, reach out to him, either through Discord, create a ticket. This is the man to solve all of your issues. A lot of the people in the chat, or a lot of the people who are attending, we know that you have already reached out to Manolis. You know that this is a typical 5-star customer support experience.
Enough.
But so this is the person that if there's anyone to explain DLSS 4 to you, this is the guy. He's also the person who came with the topic. We've seen tons of, here at the office, we've seen tons of the applications of this technology and these options and features. And so Manolis is the head attraction here today. I'm just here to make sure that you and the audience have everything that it is that you need, that your questions are answered, that we explain go further into depth on things that were perhaps unclear, explain something again in a different way. So just use the text, just use the chat function as much as you can. Anything that you can tell us about your situation, the more we can personalize the webinar, and the more enjoying this will be, because you know, as much as this will in a way be a lecture, it should also be a conversation in a way. And I think this is how we like to do our
gathering.
Exactly.
It's cool.
Which, you know, also shows I completely forgot to switch this.
It's fine.
So who am I? I am the MC essentially today. And I'm here to make sure that you have everything that you need. Before I give the seat to Manolis, I am just going to go over some basics that are necessary for today outside of the chat function, because a lot of you are new, a lot of new faces here. And so there are a few things that I will drop links to in the chat in a little while. So we are on a mission to make pixel streaming a lot more well-known, increase the awareness, increase the knowledge about this, you know, remove some of the biases that people have, that they have unnecessarily. So for instance, people saying that it's too expensive or that it's difficult or any of those things. And the ways how we do this is, you know, one of these ways is through the webinars that we are doing, as you are noticing right here. Then we have our LinkedIn channel, which is growing rapidly, which we're very happy about. So if you could follow us, we really appreciate it. Like our posts. Every time that you do that, that helps us spread the word about pixel streaming. And I think that for all of us, that would make all of our lives easier, because the more people know about it, the easier it is for you to get clients. And then everyone becomes happy because it's fantastic for so many different reasons. We also have a subreddit for pixel streaming. So I will drop the link to this. Please post all of your projects there, ask for feedback, complain about different features that we have, say that something isn't good enough. Whatever it is that you want to use a subreddit for, use it. The more active it becomes, the more interesting it becomes to follow, the more we can all, you know, increase the awareness, increase our reach, etc., etc. Then please feel free to enter our Discord. Our Discord is how we solve all of your issues, whatever it is, something small, it might be something big. On our Discord, you can create tickets. Manolis will solve them for you or help you solve them.
There is no tickets, but it's a kind of a community, but we are always there.
And the best thing is that we also have tons of people who actually answer before Manolis has the opportunity to do so. So really, you know, together we learn, especially on our Discord. Then we have our YouTube channel, as some of you have already asked. Will you be able to watch this webinar later on our YouTube channel? Absolutely. We are going full force into YouTube these days. We are doing shorts. We are uploading webinars like crazy. We host webinars every 2 weeks. So whenever you have time on a Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m., you know where to clock in. And usually they're quite fun. our webinars. There's lots of interaction, so it's also a fantastic way to connect with other people with the same interests. And by now, I have been rambling so much that, assuming that there are no questions outside of Rudy's question, if this is Manolis' hoodie from the Unreal Fest.
Yeah, it's the new one from Unreal Fest Stockholm. It also has the colors, as you can see, Swedish style.
Ah, yes, the IKEA collabo. Perfect.
But yeah.
So then, in that case, if there are no questions in the audience, I will very simply just give the word to Manolis.
Yeah, let's start. So we will start with some slides. The most of the webinar will be diving in and showing stuff in action. So today's topics, we will talk a bit about what is DLSS, how to install and enable it on our engine, and then we will talk a bit about the DLSS 4 technologies, the current state. We will deep dive on the sample. It's interesting to talk about the NVRTX DLSS sample. The guys have done great stuff in terms of blueprints, especially whoever wants to set up a UI widget and hooking up how to enable properly everything. And then we will go to one of our projects, which we enabled DLSS. We will enable it also together. The project was actually for path tracing rendering. That means it was never meant to be for real time. But we will try to see what we can do to boost the performance and the quality, to see what's possible. And we will experiment with some settings, talk about packaging, and then at the end we'll discuss DLSS on Arcware Cloud, what we support in Europe region, in the US side, and of course a live Q&A at the end. Yeah, I mean, I would say let's just dive in instantly to the thing. You can also, if you want, do that.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, so I will just stop the presentation. The presentation is done on Miro board, of course. Yeah, DLSS, where we find that? We find DLSS plugin, of course, in Epic's Fab, DLSS, by searching for it. The version they have is the version 4. As you can see, it's not directly, like you cannot hook it directly to your launcher and stuff like that. You need to go to their external website, which I have it open here. It's this. So DLSS. Before we go to how to enable it, we can maybe talk a bit about the features it has, the sub plugin, so to say. It's a plugin with many components. So lately they are focusing a lot on the frame generation part of the thing. With the new DLSS 4, they enabled the multi-frame generation, which runs only on the 50 series Blackwell GPUs. What multi-frame, what FrameGen is, it's that it creates additional frames with deep learning algorithms and trained on AI, of course. After it super samples, it goes through the super resolution, so for the DLSS, it starts the initial frame from a lower resolution, and when creating the second frame, it goes and creates a virtual frame, a frame out of thin air, so to say. And then at the end, it renders it out on the scene. That's kind of the way they are doubling the frame rate, or in some cases even more. It has also some drawbacks, of course. We can later mention some stuff, but that's the frame generation. The DLSS Ray Reconstruction is a feature that they even think on killing it completely. I saw in the documentations on the 4. But what this does is it completely, we will see it also later, removes the noise. It makes sharper kind of reflections, and it removes the noise from the shadow maps also. with a bit of course, it's a bit takes some frames, so to say. Then we have the super resolution, of course, that's what we will focus on the most. This is the deep learning super resolution. It actually boosts the performance by rendering the kind of the frame in a lower resolution. It manages it does it with the screen percentage, actually lowering the screen percentage, meaning you can be in 1080p, and it has stages we will see later. So let's say in the performance stage it renders like in 66% or 58% screen percentage, and it brings you the final frame for 1080p by multi-sampling the frame. In many cases it even boosts the quality, as we will see, some shimmering and jittering. Also the aliasing, it helps also on the aliasing side. And finally, the deep learning anti-aliasing, DLAA, they name it. This one is just for the maximum quality of aliasing you can get, again with the help of the deep learning. I mean, it's trained on AI, and this actually brings the performance down, of course, but it can really bring the quality if the performance is not the thing, or if you are going for rendering. You could use it, and the aliasing will be much better in many cases than even temporal super resolution from Epic Game. So that's kind of to demystify what the technology does under the hood. And yeah, here we can just go and find the section with the plugin. We can download. At the moment they support, as you can see, the version 4 from 5 to 5.6. We download the plugin, and now we will go to the part on how we can actually nail it on our engine. So after downloading the plugin, of course we unzip. The plugin comes with documentation. It's really nice documentation, by the way. We separate every tag and explaining many things. Quick start guides are kind of the way to go, but then there are interesting stuff on the programming guides also, which I will show one thing. Maybe it's interesting for some settings that are in engine. Yeah, after unzipping it, we have the plugins. We find our source. In this case, we will put it on the, let's say, 5.6 version. What you do is you simply go to your engine folder, plugins folder. You can put it on the runtime or on the marketplace if you have the binary version and not the source. So I think in our case it's on marketplace. So you just simply create, to keep things clean, an Nvidia folder, and then just copy all the plugins on the engine plugins folder. And one more thing, on the sample project there is one more UI widget lib plugin which needs to also be here. So after that we can just start the engine. Now we will go with the sample project. We will deep dive a bit on the sample project to see some stuff, and what and how things work, especially how the blueprint part, the blueprinting, is done from NVRTX team. So let's open this project. By the way, if you are kind of question on what for hardware we are at the moment, today I brought my workstation here, as you can see, for the first time. So we are on a Threadripper with 65 threads, 32 cores, 128 gigabyte memory, and an A6000. These are actually the GPUs that we have in our Europe infrastructure. It's a 30 series NV RTX Ampere series GPU. That's kind of the setup we have. And yeah, here is the sample project from Nvidia. Let's close this because I want to show you these small tips because they are really interesting. So if we start this project, we will see instantly that they already have integrated a nice UI, so you can instantly test things out and check performance differences and runtime milliseconds and stuff like that. Let's go start FPS, start unit to bring some insights here. I mean, it's of course a lightweight project, but it's okay. You can see some differences and the settings, of course. So I'm not now just showing you the blueprint. We will not deep dive in the settings now. We will go later, but you can already see just changing from built-in, which is DAA on 100% screen percentage, what this does. Of course, this is easy going for the system, but again, it's still a boost. And the major thing is, of course, on the quality of the thing, which we will discuss later. It's not so visible here, except of the reflection part on this project. One other thing I wanted to show here is that it's interesting, not only for this project, but by playing even on your with console parameters and stuff like that, I always tend to have the console variables windows on, which kind of puts everything, whatever is triggered, it's listed on this console variable list, and whatever we change, you can clearly see what's going on. So in this case, if we go built-in, you can see in the command line side, it just disables the DLSS and it brought the screen percentage to 100%. And many other things. Whatever change we do, whatever you do here, you will be seeing. And now we added the NIS, and Nvidia image scaling, which is the fallback. If a system doesn't support DLSS, it can fall back to this feature. So you can clearly see and record the commands and to use them later, of course, if needed. Plus, you can even create presets from here. It's really handy. It's a nice way of documenting things even. Where were we? Yeah, this is the UI. And then what else here is interesting to show is actually this part. So it's, I think, on the blueprints UI.
Now that you are looking for something,
Yeah,
Manolis,
yeah.
how would you improve your reflections? If you feel like your reflections aren't fantastic, what is like
It
your go-to?
it depends on the project. Mainly, I go with Lumen in some cases. We go also ray traced reflections. They are a bit costly, but it depends. I mean, for rendering, we are talking for real time, I guess, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, with DLSS, it helps, and I will show you later. The ray reconstruction helps on the reflection side a bit to stabilize a lot the reflections.
I see that Giovanni has some issues here, but he'll bug you on either
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Q&A
yeah.
or on
Of
Discord.
course, of course. So
Yeah,
we're
that's
done.
it.
Here is the thing. The guys prepared. I mean, this is a part of it. Let me find. Mm, it's component based frame gen. Yeah, here you can always find, like, they are of course having it also separated. Like, this is the super resolution, this is the frame generation, and it all comes and being combined on the BPW_NGX widget UI. But yeah, here you can, it's simple as even copy pasting and putting the settings on your own project. It's really nicely commented, and everything is here, like the properly way the guys on Nvidia side are doing to trigger the settings. Yeah, that's also a nice part, just to know the sample project is great. And now let me just recall. We talked about this tech sample project insights. I think we covered pretty much everything. And now we will go to, let's go to our project. This will take some seconds to load, but let's go. Feel free to ask any questions if.
Well, then, if we can talk about questions now, Fook is asking about VR projects.
Yes.
And so I'm just going to switch to us.
Yeah.
So if we're going to talk VR, currently you can pixel stream for VR, even if it's still experimental.
Yes, yes.
But DSLL, is that something that will
DLSS, you mean?
DLSS, yes. Okay, yeah, because Fook, just like me, got a
No problem.
thing to do.
DLSS, yeah.
DLSS for VR, yes or no?
It is supported. Only the frame gen is not yet supported. But yeah, DLSS is fully supported for VR, and it makes sense. But
Why
again,
does it make sense?
because
the-
it boosts the frame rate.
Ah.
Plus helps a lot on the aliasing side.
Mhm.
And it doesn't need to be even in the forward rendering. So
Mhm.
you can go like it's the way to go. And yeah, it helps. It's working. I mean, many are using it already for VR. But pixel stream VR, guys, it's still too early, to be honest. Even me streaming from Munich, it works. We have it. I can even share a link if you want to test on a Meta Quest 2, 3, and Apple Vision Pro. We prepared the Epic Games VR template,
Mhm.
and it's being streamed. I have shared it a lot of times for people to test. But the latency is the killer there. This is still a thing. That's why it's also flagged as experimental.
Would you say that there's like a big gap between if it's on hardware or if it streams? Because
Yeah, on hardware, on a tethered device, it's the best way to go. Or local streaming, it works out of the box,
Mhm.
and it's great. I mean, if you stream locally from a workstation to your device, that's totally fine. But through the web, this is still, I would say, a no-go. I mean, I haven't seen any case working.
Clearly Fook is excited, so I think Fook will be proud to show you wrong. And
Let's see.
Right. So then we have another question from Adam. He assumes that we will go through this, but what are your go-to settings for DLSS? And does this have any? All right. What would be your go-to settings for DLSS for quick enable? And does this have any effect on the initial load? On load being play?
No, in the initial load, maybe in some cases, but after a threshold, if the project is too big, it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, by loading everything on a lower initial input, that means it always consumes less video memory. So that's definitely there. And there are no go-to settings. It really depends on the project. Now we will dive in. The project is still compiling shaders. We will dive in on one of the projects, like I told, which was meant to be for rendering only. But I wanted to showcase this project because it's just huge. It has a lot of geometry there and completely unoptimized scene. And that's a good example to see what we can do with DLSS. And I will also show you, of course, the fastest way on nailing it to your project and starting.
This is the same project as the one that you showed this morning?
To you?
Yeah, to me.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
we didn't stream earlier today.
yes, that's it.
Very good. Because this is for Mark. This is the one that I mentioned. This is definitely, as Manolis would say, a beast. So
yeah, we can go even the initial size. So the full project is 20 gigabyte size. We are there.
We're there.
So yeah, that's the project. Code name HL18. So if we check the the size of this project, and it's really clean. It's really cleaned up, meaning we extracted everything, we migrated everything that really is needed for the project. It's not a dirty project, so to say, with in development. So it's 20 gigs, and the package size, I think it's around, at the end of the day, yeah, 10 gigs. It comes to 10 gigs. So now on our project, what we do first? First of all, after, of course, preparing the plugin on the engine side, we go to our plugins window and we type Nvidia. A nice way to separate everything is with a pipe DLSS, so it will bring only the relevant parts. And what we need to enable here is only I have enabled even the movie render queue stuff, but you don't need this. This is if you want to render and enable even DLSS on your rendering pipelines, feel free. Actually, it does a great job on quality, and with DLSS only also performance. But yeah, here we need the frame gen, the DLSS super resolution, the NIS, image scaling, the reflex. We will talk about these components also. They were not mentioning these things in the website, but those are subcomponents that makes a bit sense to talk about. Dynamic vibrance, this is just for some tweaking a bit the colors and the tone of the final frame. And yeah, the streamline core and the Nvidia UI widget lib. And I enable this for one reason only, I will show you. So that's that, and then restart of the engine is of course mandatory. After restarting, it instantly starts with the DLSS enabled, and the way we can see it is with the command start GPU or with the console commands, and playing around you can see that is enabled. But to really see what is now kicking in as aliasing is start GPU. And we can see here Nvidia DLSS is here. There is no temporal aliasing or super or the TSR. It's instantly the DLSS. But in our case, I will even just disable it for now. So disabling it, we can instantly, let me make it a bit bigger. So you can see, we already see some noise. And this is what we have here is, I think, temporal super resolution. I think we are on TSR here. Yeah, that's TSR. The scene, by the way, as I told you, is where is the view? Here. Nanite overview. There is nothing like, I mean, I was today just playing with a tree or something, but it's all normal mesh. There is no nanite optimization or something like that. It's just normal geometry. And zero LODs also, by the way, on the scene. So just let's get rid of the view now. Okay. I will show you now a way of how I'm doing it after enabling all these plugins, and I now want to experiment, meaning I want to bring exactly the same menu that we saw on the sample project on my project instantly, just to test around things. How you do that is after enabling, of course, the plugins, and you prepare the stage, because if you don't enable the plugins and bring what we will bring now, everything will be broken. You need to clean up, prepare, and then copy the stuff. So we can go in the sampler project in the content folder and just copy whatever is on your, or if you don't have in this case I have a blueprints folder, that's why I'm just copying. If we go here, open Explorer, we can see blueprints, So you just copy these two things, whatever is in the blueprints, and you bring it on this side, on your project. That's that. And after that, the only thing you need to do, simple steps on whatever blueprint. In this case, we go on the persistent level. You simply go and nail, you create a widget UI. You take the I think it's the ngx, yeah, bpw underscore ngx. You promote to a variable, you add it to viewport, and that's that. And you hook it to your player controller, and you nail it wherever you want, of course, also the target here. And by doing that, we already have enabled. In this case, we also have our stuff, but this is the Arcware pawn, by the way, it's on our template, but let me go here, simple HUD, so we don't see, because if I let it with the mouse visible, I mean, we will have two UI components, one the Arcware and of course the Nvidia. To be a bit more clean, in this case, let's just go with the HUD, and if we start, we will have only the Nvidia component here. So that's how we can add them very fast, at least for experimenting on our project on what DLSS can do is to do this. This is my method. This is the way I'm doing it, and it always works after preparing and enabling the project.
Good. Can we then discuss another question
Yeah,
from Adam? Because Adam asked, can we get our hands on the sample scene?
of course, it is in the plugin. It is whenever Adam and guys, you download the plugin from Nvidia. I mean, let's do it again. Accept, bam. Let's go. It's the same folder. I mean, you can see I downloaded it today. That's that. On the plugins folder, there is the sample project. There you go. You can, of course, select on which version you want to start it. I think now it's 5.6. Now I converted it, but let's just rename this to 5.6 and let's unzip it again. Let's see what is the base. I think it will be 5.6. Just to take a look. But I think the question is answered. I'm just diving a bit.
Yeah, and as we are waiting for things to open.
No, it's all open. We don't wait.
All right, good.
So it doesn't even, it's not even mapped to anywhere. So that's why it was asking. So yeah.
Very good.
There you go.
Then I have one more question,
Yeah.
which comes from Angel. Does DLSS work directly in the viewport and also make sense, or is it only supported in standalone builds?
It also, we will go to the settings. At the moment, as you can see, we were in the viewport, but there are some settings to enable it in the editor viewport also. Yeah.
Very good. Then I will let you continue.
Yeah, actually, let's go to the settings and some settings parts for the DLSS in the project settings. So if we want to enable it in viewport, we just need to go to the plugin section, DLSS, and here is an option. Here's the option, enable DLSS, DLLA to be turned on editor viewport. If I unclick this, you don't see a difference maybe, but it will not work anymore in the viewport. You need to play on Pi or on standalone mode or on normal on editor mode. But I always, and everyone, we tend to enable it to iterate faster. You don't want always to be playing the game. But this is this option. and maybe some interesting stuff on the to go a bit deeper on the settings. There are these preset settings for DLLA, DLAA, DLSS, and they just nicely preset F, J, K, and so on. So the guys are experimenting with things there, and they are preparing some presets. Where you can find these settings is you just to find the presets. If you want to experiment, some settings help you more in scenes that are in motion. Some other settings help you more in static scenes. I haven't checked even the documentation on this version, but let's see. So you find these preset settings to really know what you are doing here. Again, we go in the folder, in the documentation section. I think it's in the programming guide DLSS, and if we, at least it was on the version 3, if we go reset presets, exactly, so we can go, it's on the section 3.12. So here are these presets. By default it explains even the defaults, and those are the kind of presets, and if you scroll down you will see some explanation on the preset side always. So in this case they changed. Even before it was 1, 2, 3, 4, now they go F, J, K, kind of. It was numeric, now it's with letters. But an example similar to preset K, press J, might exhibit simply less ghosting at the cost of extra flickering and stuff like that. So this is interesting to always see if you want to tweak a bit deeper the plugin itself. Just a small pro tip here. That's that, but I always go by default. In very rarely cases to tweak some presets and stuff. It kind of always works like a magic. So now we can see, now we are, I think, with NGX exactly disabled. I mean, it's already visible. I will let it like this, and we will just enable it in editor even to see. You even can see here flickering, here some noise. Is it by the way visible on the stream what I'm trying to show? We will also go full screen mode.
I do see indeed a little bit of noise.
There is this flickering,
just above
this
yes,
noise.
exactly.
You can see clearly on the hedge here, on the trees, there is visual noise. In the shadow casting, also on the shadow maps here also. It's a bit noisy. This is TSR, and this is, by the way, one more interesting thing that I think unit. So you can clearly see also on stat unit now here render resolution. So we can actually here see what for resolution we have now at the moment on our editor. By resizing it, you see it's dynamically changing. This is also kind of a nice thing to know. But yeah, we will now just kick in the DLSS. It will start by default, I think, on the balanced mode. I think so. We can see, and we go 1, and you can see instantly that this is kind of a quality and optimizing a bit the frame rate, of course, but you can clearly see the noise is gone completely. The flickering is gone, and the trees and everything is like way more solid. Even in the small scale you can still see big difference. And now we enabled our UI and stuff. Let's go and experiment with some settings, I would say.
Let's do it.
In this case, let's go on Pi mode.
Do we have a 4K?
No, this screen is a 1440p screen. It's not a 4K. It's an ISO 40p screen.
Does that have impact on any of the visuals and optimizing the visuals?
I mean, for streaming, you don't want to normally go. I know the Rock Hunter guys are pushing the limits, but I always recommend 1440p
Mm-hmm.
kind of maximum, and all because of the bandwidth. Because it really needs high-end, like it really needs a super speed in the internet side to kind of enjoy the resolution without drawbacks. And one more thing, by testing, always minimize the editor in the background. It's helpful. It brings a bit more boost in the frames. So yeah, now we are on DLSS normal. It says 1080p, but I full screened it, so it's actually, you see the frame rate, no change. 1440p with DLSS on, and we already have, let's go and test maybe an interior scene here in our scene. So you can see here we have, let's say, 30 frames. So I will just, this is with DLSS, I will just go back to the TSR by changing from the upscaler here. So you can see here we have some flickering starting kicking in, but the most important is our frame rate dropped to 18 frames and the GPU time to 51 milliseconds. So this is kind of the performance, what it would be on 1440p. And we simply go again back to DLSS, and this is just enabling it with the default setting, not even kind of tuning or something. We instantly see 30 FPS. So this is
moving us to a different corner so that everyone can see the.
yeah.
Could you just visually do it again, because I think our screen was off on top of the red numbers that we saw before.
You can bring us down even if you want. But yeah,
Yes,
I'm going back to built-in again.
Here. Yes.
Going back to the built-in, in this exact perspective, we will have, yeah, we have 18 frames. 18 frames, and we have GPU time 50 milliseconds, which is, you can clearly see the results. And then we go just back to DLSS, and it goes to instantly 31 frames. GPU time, we gained 20 milliseconds. I mean, the VR guys, this is amazing. It can help a lot on VR, but not streamed VR again.
What about image scaling then?
We will go.
Yeah, it's that there is a person who might identify as a Malaka, Christos, who's
Christo, Yasure Christara. That was Greek, by the way. Yeah, image scaling is kind of the fallback. Let's talk about this one also a bit. It will boost a bit, and this will work on any hardware. This is the fallback, so to say. If your GPU doesn't support DLSS, if it's not an RTX from 20 series and beyond, up to, of course, Blackwell, everything is supported except of FrameGen. FrameGen 1 is supported on 40 series, on ADA series, and FrameGen 2 only on the Blackwell series. So yeah, image scaling is also good. It helps. It does something. You can clearly see here 77%. It runs 1968 by 1080, and it upscales it to 1440p. Whereas in DLSS, you have better quality, better performance, and with lower resolution. So I think now we can talk about the quality stages a bit.
We can.
Let's go to quality. Yeah, this is quality. By default, it brings it to quality. But to be honest, in 4040p, you can always go even balanced mode. Balanced mode, the primary resolution is at 48% screen percentage, 1482. I mean, in this case, because it's not windowed, it cuts something here by 814, and you can clearly see what it does. It's really almost no difference, to be honest, in my case. And this is the hardware that is running on the Europe servers, by the way. You can already We can talk about Arcware Cloud supporting what we support in which regions, but that's the hardware that we are running on the EU side. So balanced, as you can see, yeah, ultra performance goes down to 33%, but performance and ultra performance are meant to be running for 8K monitors for really big resolutions. Then it makes sense to go down to boost the performance, because upscaling it to higher resolutions, it helps a lot. It's not for, let's say, 1440 or 1080p. In this case, I would say balanced would be for this scene. I mean, you saw 90 frames, it's just unusable here. Even in some cases, it can go maybe worse if you go in some other rooms with many stuff. I will show you the project, by the way. It's fully like populated with everything. As I told you, this one was meant for renderings only, not for real time. So every room has something. We have kind of, the logic is, it's a German split house.
It's not that
kind
German
of.
because the stove song.
Yeah, yeah. So, and the concept of every house is, every unit is a big lofty living room with a kitchen, and even the basement. Kind of, you can see some materials might be off and stuff because they were tuned for path tracing and not for lumen. I just converted it from, I'm working on this from yesterday to prepare it for the webinar, but there is light everywhere. I can show later how many lights we have, and every kind of basement has a special room with the classic laundry room and these parts. And if we go up we have the, I think, the kind of an office room always, and the bedroom with a toilet here always, and the upper floor is always for kind of 2 kids. It has 2, of course, again a bath here, and for the second kid. And every kind of apartment is different, every asset is different. There is almost no instancing except of the doors and some standard stuff. That's why I told this was just done only for renderings. As you can see, this office room is completely different with different assets. And even the Kinderzimmer is also completely different story every time. With, yeah, also every apartment has a kind of garden area with fully populated grass and stuff.
That's some amazing grass.
And not only, I mean, this was, as I told, also here, if you see, this is not like, it's texture plus with rocks on top. Those are all meshes. And also behind, here we have a split concept. This apartment has this area, this apartment has this area, a different car even, and stuff like that. Okay, that's kind of the project. A lot of meshes, a lot of polygons. Let's check this. What do we have here? Here we had the music room.
Are we going to get into how DLSS also affects mobile usage?
Mobile usage?
Yeah, so like if I am accessing this through my mobile, does it have a big, is there anything that's specifically different here?
In this case, mobile resolutions, it will be a bit lower than sometimes even 1440 or 1080p because simply of the device. On top, as you know, we have the dynamic resolution already in Arcware side, so we adapt completely the stream on your resolution. That means if no DLSS, that would be 100% screen percentage and would be the resolution that it is. But if you are with DLSS, of course it will boost even more. If it's in a lower resolution, that means it will render the initial render pass in even lower resolution.
because that brings me to Jesus's question. He noticed that in our MIFCOM showcase, in the mobile mode, we have a rotate screen prompt in portrait mode to force it
Yes,
into landscape.
yes.
However, he believes that's done with the Web SDK. Is there any way to implement that option directly within Unreal or to unlock the interface to landscape mode so that the UI anchors and focal points don't break?
So, Jesus, you want to have an in-game UI or you want to have a front-end UI? Because the MIFCOM case, it's fully React front-end UI. There is nothing in-game UI. And it was purely done to rotate it to the horizontal view, purely for how it looks, how it feels. It feels better than portrait. But we, of course, have projects that dynamically adapt even. I can show you that dynamically adapt, again, with a front-end UI. They completely adapt the UI. But this is all front-end cases. In your case, I guess you have an in-game UI and you want to trigger something, right?
We have the entire interface developed in Unreal Engine.
Yes. So in this case, yes. The thing is, you can have a simple front-end UI. By the way, our Web SDK already recognizes you just need to take the reads and talk to your Unreal Engine. That means you need to at least do the following: prepare the two versions of the UI, of course, whatever you want to load, depending on the orientation of the device. So let's say if we start portrait, the front end, or if not even the front end, like the front end, but without the front end, it can talk to your Unreal Engine application and tell, hey, with a key value pairs. This is all documented how this thing communicates. And the front end says to you, now I'm portrait. Unreal loads the portrait kind of oriented UI. Or vice versa, I'm horizontal, then you load the horizontal. We have also cases like that, yes.
And I believe that we actually are talking about this topic with Ivan in our previous webinar. So I linked to this. And if I remember correctly, Ivan's position is that there rarely is a situation where it is better to have your UI in-game, and that 9 out of 10 times it's better to have that through your front end.
I mean, it would be the best. It's always the best choice to go front end, but I can understand not everyone is a front end developer.
That is very fair.
And you can have workaround with the very simple stuff. It's all there on our side. I mean,
then that takes me to the next question by Aaron. I hope I pronounced the Spanish names correctly. My Spanish is atrocious. I apologize. I haven't had enough paella in my life. So first of all, Jesus, thanks you. So that is very happy to hear that we finished the question there and that we answered things. Mark agrees on the front end topic. And then Aaron asks, in some levels of DLSS performance and above, a noisy effect can be seen in the image. Is there any way of smoothing it down apart from using a different DLSS level?
yes, it is. And we will go exactly on this topic now.
Perfect. Then we are switching this again back
so,
to
yeah.
the application.
So here we are in a very bad situation, 15 frames. And clearly this is the translucency. Why? Because let's get rid of this one. So we have the window here, we have glass here, and even in front of us we have this thing, which is, it generates a lot of kind of layers of glass. It's also, all the pieces are from the same material. And this is without DLSS at the moment. But we will go now exactly on this point, how we can smoothen a bit the edges and stuff. So next topic, what we will talk about is let's go first of all. DLSS to bring the frame rate down. So we went up again, even in this worst catastrophe scenario. And we will talk a bit about the ray reconstruction here. And that's the way to smooth out. I will show you some nice cases here to smooth out from reflections, from shadow map noise, and also straighten some cases of more ray effects and stuff like that, that you can have really thin geometry close to each other. So I hope it is visible, but now I will just enable, you can see the reflections on the glass of the tree. So we will just enable the ray reconstruction. I hope it is visible, but we can even see the leaves now. Let me go back. You can clearly see. Is it visible, guys?
Yeah, no, you definitely see the difference in the stream.
So, and you can even see here, I mean, this is also a nice case here. We have some noise, we have everything. It's better than the TSR, but we still have something. And we are, let's say, where are we? Let's go even quality mode. We are in the quality mode. By enabling ray reconstruction, you can see it instantly cleans up everything with a drawback of, I think, 1 to 2 frames. So we can see 5 frames, but it definitely does the trick. The scene is crazy, I'm telling you. It's not optimized. That's why if you will use it on your own projects and optimizing the scene from the beginning for real time, this will really give you a nice results. Now let's go to some other cases with this same tech. So we can also go in this area here. We were in the window. Let's just, yeah, okay. So we can clearly see here also some, not artifacts, but this is also noise, I would say. Also, there is also noise on the shadow maps. Plus, there is noise in the reflection inside. So now we are without ray reconstruction. We will enable it, and you will see that this will be sharp. Everything will go sharp. Boom. You see the difference? Going back, you can clearly see even here the noise, and down on the shadow maps here. And then we go again. It cleans up everything. So that's ray reconstruction. It helps on reflections. I mean, this is visible even in these cases, even some close. Wait, I need to do a setting here because I have on our phone. That's why I'm just clicking one time forward and it kind of flies around, which let's just tweak a bit our pawn to have a more solid.
So as you are tweaking those things,
Yeah.
First we have a question from Angel, which is about Nvidia Reflex. Does it still work?
Yeah.
Still being maintained? He noticed
Yes.
in 5.5.
Yes, Reflex is working. It's something they are even going beyond the normal. They have even a boost mode now. And I will explain what Reflex does later, and we can clearly see the impact.
Perfect.
But it's mainly, it will maybe help also on pixel streaming, to be honest. But it's mainly for the input. And what you do in the Reflex, what Nvidia does in the Reflex side is, of course, they cannot control the input from the hardware to the CPU, to the memory, to the GPU, but they can control the latency from the GPU to the final frame, and that's where this tech kicks in, and we can see what it does. I mean, Reflex is going hand to hand with a frame gen. You cannot, if you enable frame gen, it enables Reflex. It cannot work else. It would be a catastrophe. Just so you know.
Good. And then I have another question from Karsten. He loves ray construction, but but asks if you have tried it together with depth of field, as he gets very bad results in that situation.
Depth of field, have you tested on the DLSS 4?
That's we
or 3? Because they have improved it a lot.
4. It is 4 according to Karsten.
Then I guess, my friend, I want you to show me depth of field and stuff. Let's see together what's going on.
Let's take this to Discord.
No worries.
Good.
I mean,
then.
So yeah, let me go to the.
Let's go.
We were on the fly mode.
So while Manolis is still optimizing some less things.
Yeah, let me just test it out. How is it? It feels now. Yeah, way better. one more thing. Yeah, you want?
Yeah.
Drop it.
So one of the things that so we're doing some polls today, so that we have a better understanding of who is in the audience today. And one of the questions that we asked is, or we asked the audience was, what do you want to get out of our webinars? And just to be complete, I added the option other. And so whoever clicked that, please let us know, because we'd love to know what kind of reasons, for what kind of reasons people join our webinar, so we can also optimize them for that. So if that other reason is hanging out, then obviously that would be fantastic. But I'm sure it's something else. So if that was you, please let us know, because I'm curious what that could be.
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, and maybe one more case with the ray reconstruction. I think I have a nice example here. Let's go. I'm now in normal mode. Let's go up. So, and we can maybe, Karsten, test depth of field also now, because the pawn, our pawn has depth of field, automatic depth of. So let's just check it together. So, and here also, this scene, we can clearly see again here the noise. By the way, and this is also with TSR. It's not from the, you can see also we have noise with TSR, and of course worse performance. Those are the milliseconds. Let's bring in also the FPS. So we are talking, and we are at 1440p. So let's go DLSS. And again, we test. And now, Carsten, we can maybe test depth of field. I will go close to an object. Let's see how it really feels. And again, ray reconstruction. We have noise here on the shadow map, and we have these crazy artifacts. And we are at 1440p with DLSS quality. I mean, we can even go balanced. Doesn't change a lot. But let's go quality. And by enabling ray reconstruction, we completely, in this case, it's even like you instantly see the change, except of this case. This is again a case of, you can clearly see this is extrusion, geometries being very close.
Could we show it again for Karsten, because I saw it on your screen, but Karsten didn't see it properly in the
yeah,
in the stream.
so Karsten,
because also I will say
this
in the
ghosting effect, yeah,
in the live stream, the pad here is clearly overexposed, and so
it's also here. But yeah, maybe we can,
because yeah, okay, if I
we can
increase my,
then go, and I think we have the ultra dynamic light.
yes, now it's no longer overexposed. That now it is again.
Yeah, but the thing is, this thing comes with a light.
Now it's definitely everything's.
Let's go here. I think it's better even.
Yeah,
But
here
you can see this.
Here there is some exactly that stuff you can see.
You can see it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, now we are not in game mode, but we can go again on this particular scene.
Ah, he says that he can't see any depth of field.
Oh, wait, you will see in a bit. Ah, you want to see the depth of field?
Yes, that's
so. Okay, let's do one more kind of cleanup here with this ray reconstruction to explain or to show the difference. But yeah, you can see even here we have some noise. This is not soft shadow, it's a bit noisy. It is soft but noisy, and now it's way more softer and clean. So that's that. And now let's try. Here we go.
Yeah, this is visible.
We have depth of field. Yeah,
It isn't
it's
perfect, but
it's not better. It's a bit better, but yeah. Yeah, the guys are working on it, I guess. But you are right, with depth of field, it doesn't work perfect, of course, as we can see. Yeah, it helps the rest, these parts, these shadows and stuff. Now better.
But I would
And
say that
with moving,
for commercial purposes, this is fine. Unless, of course, you're
yeah, I
trying to
mean,
make videos.
now we are going a bit in detail.
And I mean,
I mean,
this is when I buy a bed, I do not zoom in this much inside
yeah,
the
yeah,
IKEA.
yeah, yeah. But no, we wanted to explore the
Uh,
comment, and
of course.
that's that. Let's just try one more maybe case with depth of field to see if there is. Yeah, it cleans up a bit, but I can see that there is still something. It's not like without the depth of field.
I think this is. I think this is
It's
going
the
to.
best part.
I think that no, I just saw Karsten's newest message, and if I'm right, this is going to turn into an old school "I will see you after school" conversation, because his reply is okay. Depending on scene, I even get much worse results. So
It
I
is,
think
it is in general like that. This, especially this tech is kind of, they even want to maybe deprecate it and stuff. I saw in the latest papers they were saying. But what I really like is it helps. We will go in even in some other cases, but it in the reflections, it helps a lot. And here I mean, it is a nice scene. There is nothing. It only helps in this case, and we even have depth of field.
so. Other than that, Rudy from Access Point AI is very excited. He will have to try this in his project.
Easy.
He often has issues with noisy shadows, hair rendering, etc.
Hair rendering, Rudy. It's a mandatory, especially for you guys. The hair strands and stuff, it's boosting the thing like crazy. You need to definitely nail it on your project and test it out. You will see a huge difference in the quality and performance. So yeah, what else? Ray reconstruction. And now let's go a bit and talk about the DLAA. And of course, this one is not for bringing the performance up or something. It's pure for quality. That means it will even go down in frame rate. So let's find a nice maybe spot. So, and just to show you what this does is, this is actually DLSS, but without the stages. That means without downsampling the image, like we seen before, like 50% screen, but DLAA goes instantly to 100%. But it makes, I mean, we can clearly see the difference here. It's the aliasing is smooth, buttery smooth. Everything is nice and sharp, balanced performance. Or let's just compare it to TSR. Of course, let's bring up our stat FPS and stat unit. So this is like here in this case 26 frames with TAA, DLSS 40 frames, and DLAA it goes to 26-25 frames, but it has way better aliasing. And in this case maybe we can also, yeah, you can see even on the reflections and everything is very, very crisp. And adding on top ray reconstruction, you can see here the reflections again. They are becoming way sharper and way more defined. But this is an overkill. That's what DLAA makes. Let's go to a garden scene or some foliage to see maybe better. But it's everything solid. There is no jittering, there is no. So balance, yeah, of course we boost, which is fine. Let's go built-in. You can clearly see again noise here, noise there, noise on the grass. This is the TAA. I mean, it says TAA, but I think it's TSR. In the previous version, you could even see the other methods. Or maybe it was method. Let's go 0 is 0, 1, 2 is temporal, TAA, let's go TSR. Yeah, 30 frames. So now we are TSR, which is better than the TAA. But 10 frames less than DLSS, which is the same thing, and in many cases even better. Yeah, let's then dive a bit on the reflex part of the thing. Reflex is enabled here. We can visualize this better when we let's go Pi mode. And
Before we get to reflex, I would like to focus on Oleg's question,
yeah,
which is,
of
does
course.
deep learning anti-aliasing work with stencil masks?
Stencil masks you are rendering in movie render queue, right? I guess. I think that it's working, yes. It's simple as enabling it and give it a go. Give a render frame.
The best way to learn is just to do things, right?
Yeah.
It's
But I haven't, like, I think it's working lately from the version 3 even, and now on 4. They worked a lot on the plugin side for the movie render queue. So should be working.
For real-time stuff. Also, that's Oleg. Waiting for.
Yes.
We are waiting for your last comment so that we can be certain that we are answering your question and not just talking into thin air. Oleg says thanks, so I think we are good to go. So then let's continue into reflex.
Yeah, reflex. To check the reflex, we can of course see here input milliseconds. Now we are with let's go performance or balanced mode. We can see the input in milliseconds here from the GPU to the rendering side, and that's why I always check it with Nvidia metrics. Let's go here, or a worst case. So Alt R. Does it want to bring? So this is the kind of final latency. So what I'm doing now, this is if you have an Nvidia GPU, I think Alt Z, yeah, with Alt Z you can bring the parameters up and the settings are in not customize appearance, where was this? In the settings.
So while you are looking for, we found it, or
no, tell me.
All right. So as we are going forward, one of the big things that we are working on at Arcware right now is our advanced analytics. And so, if anyone in the audience today has any requests for what they would like us to include here, we are all ears. because
Found it.
it's super important for us that you guys, give us feedback, because that's the easiest way. That's the easiest way for us to build what it is that you guys want. So please let us know in the chat as well what is missing in terms of analytics, and what would you get excited about.
Yeah, of course. It's kind of, let's see. Hopefully, we release this by the end of Q4.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. But yeah, here is it, the statistics on the Nvidia insights, and with Alt R you can bring also the frame rates and stuff from the GPU directly. And reflex off. If we boost it, I think it only works on the packaged. I don't see any difference. Or yeah, no, that's the thing. I don't see here the difference, but I see it on the Nvidia side. So if we go off, you can see that it needs some time to update, but we have 151 millisecond input latency. And if we go on the normal enabled, which is always kind of enabled by default when you go DLSS, it goes down to like 87 milliseconds. Or if we go boost is, it really tries to do the best with whatever GPU capacities you still have, but in this case it doesn't go lower than 90. But if it's off, you can clearly see from 140, what was it? Yeah, 160 even, we went down to 80 something. And that helps a lot on multiplayer, on the replication side of the things, especially between character input and stuff, and also on fast-paced games, so to say, first-person shooters and stuff. By enabling the tech, they will have a bit better input, kind of, through their input device. Yeah, that's that. And image scaling is image scaling, the fallback version of scaling a bit the image, again with downsampling, but it's not better than DLSS. You can clearly see it does something, but it's not better. But it works on AMD GPUs and everything. Let's just turn off RTX completely. We go to 15 frames. This is crazy. RTX on 30. And then some last but not least, I would say, dynamic vibrance. Here you can play a bit with the intensity. I mean, this thing helps a bit overall, kind of, but not over exaggerating. It can give you, let's say, the feeling of a bit more GI, how I feel it, how I see it. And yeah, then the saturation boost, of course, pops up. The colors are becoming a bit more punchy. That's also what they have done for their suite. And if we go normal play mode, by the way, I was also full screen here. Let's bring the console. Where is it? Stop. Also, here it is. So you can see on. So you can clearly see here also the command line parameters, so you can create your thing however you want to use it. And the saturation is the upper one. So this is very handy, the console variable window, so you can know what's going on by tweaking different stuff. And the only thing left is, I think, to show the except of the window, I mean, how we can actually set these things on our project. without the UI. So in this case, again, I would go in the level blueprint. So here also you have your DLSS frame gen. We cannot test because my hardware at the moment does not support. But we will try to make a demo for the USA side of the things, which we will talk a bit later what we support, and we might create a project for the USA side at kind of with every DLSS feature plus FrameGen to be tested, whoever is from there, or even from Europe, but you guys will have 170 milliseconds latency streaming from the LA side. So to set this up, you simply create enable DLSS. This is the ray reconstruction if needed, and this is a super resolution. And we can even make a branch here to not go crazy on the hardware side, but you of course know our hardware is supporting, but again, testing local stuff, maybe some hardware is not supporting it. So what we can do here is we can just make a branch. We can create a condition is DLSS super resolution, not frame gen.
When will we have frame gen in Europe?
Hopefully supported this one. Hopefully end of next year. Let's see.
Next year.
Because yeah, we are. This is a question that many asked, and also from clients and stuff. We know, guys, you are not all, but many are developing already on ADA series and so on. Especially Karsten, my friend.
That's why I asked.
So hopefully by the end of next year, we are planning another allocation in Europe. Which maybe we start dropping the new GPUs there, because it's not, because we own our infrastructure, as you know, it's not simple as changing the GPUs. And if we will go to Blackwells. But the thing with the Blackwell GPUs is that the power consumption is like 25% more. That means the platforms, what we have at the moment, they will not support. And to go multi-GPU, we need to completely invest on new platform, which we will do, of course. But yeah, I hope I answered your question. So that's how I would do it. We go DLSS, and you can even go and set the console command, or maybe a bit sharpness. Which was the... Let's find the command again. That's why this thing is really handy. I disabled the UI. Let's bring it back. Yeah, r.nis sharpness. Maybe we can add some sharpness. Before you could use also the tone mapper sharpen, but if you go DLSS mode, it's working better to go their own method. Or let's just go fast mode, r.nis sharpness, shift copy, and we can go 0.15, let's say. Always low numbers in this stuff. And screen percentage, we go quality mode. By the way, you can also, I think they fixed it, it was broken. You can derive multiple commands in an execute. Maybe I can showcase it. So for maybe people don't know, let's go execute console command. So we can go, let's say, start FPS. This is one command. If we start the game, we will see start FPS being triggered. But in order to trigger multiple commands, you don't need to copy, the execute console command node and, continue doing that. You can shift enter. Let's say now we want another command, start unit. This thing was broken, I think, on 5.4 until 5.5, but it seems they fixed it again. Start unit. In this case, we will trigger both commands. So if we start the game, we should have, wait. Still broken, I think it was working. Start unit, or let's go one more. Start GPU. It's working. I don't know, but yeah, the start unit, I think it's correct. Anyway, that's the way triggering multiple commands. And here also, that means we can go the r.screen percentage here, r.screen percentage, and this is the manual way. We can put it to 66.7, what it needs. That's kind of a total control. Of course, you can play with this. It's not standard. In DLSS, you can tweak it. Those are their own levels. So that's how I would set it up. And if not, do nothing or go to the image scaling. Or I think they also have some macros here. Not this one, I think it's the other one. Yeah, or if you don't want to do this, you can simply go here and even select mode. And in this case, they even have an ultra quality, which brings a bit, of course, the screen percentage up. So you could even go like this, enable DLAA no, and restore full res when disabled. So this is the way you can simply enable it. The important part is to experiment, find which settings work the best, and then go nail them here. One more thing is by testing, I found out by testing in editor, especially in like projects like this, big projects, in the standalone mode or wherever, you see the boost, you see everything, but by packaging the application, this boost can be significantly more, of course. Because it's also loaded. This whole thing is also loaded on your GPU. So sometimes, if it's a small project, something lightweight, it's 90% the same what you will see by testing within editor. But with big projects, my experience is that after packaging the project, you see definitely a better boost in performance after you package the project. Yeah, and on Arcware side, I mean, we already demystified it, but in Munich, on our Munich servers, we support DLSS, super resolution, DLAA, the Ray Reconstruction and everything, except of frame generation. Frame generation is supported only in the US region currently. Lucky guys. And soon will also be available, hopefully, end of next year. We deploy the newest generation in Europe, so we can, or you can all enjoy the frame gen. But frame gen doesn't mean pure performance. Sometimes it has drawbacks, especially in moving kind of animated scenes or whatever. You can clearly see some ghosting sometimes. It depends, of course, on the project. So what I want to say, it's not perfect. If it's something smooth and nice, it really does the trick. It boosts up the performance. But if it's something a bit fast or too many animations, animated objects in the scene, it can also be a bit not so high quality. Performance, yes, but the quality can have a drawback. Yeah. Let me. Do we have any other questions? Maybe.
Questions we have. Christos is finally coming with a question. He's been silent for too long.
You tell me the question, I will check something.
Yes, very good.
Maybe we have a surprise. Let's see.
Because first of all, while Christos is writing his question, I would like to thank everyone for sticking with us for 95 minutes. For those who actually signed up early and got to hang out with us for a bit, it's been even longer. So thank you for sticking with us. It means a lot. Christos' question is: are there any additional steps as far as the final package of the product?
To enable it and to have it running? I don't think so, no. You just package it and you do the settings, you prepare your blueprint, and it will kick in instantly if it is supported. Don't show this.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no, I guess, no other step. You enable the plugin, you test it out, you find your nice settings, and it should work. Shipping builds also, everything is working.
Then Karsten is coming up with a new question. He's just happy.
He's happy. I'm happy too, Karsten.
Good. Then, is there anything that we need to?
I think I covered. I'm checking if I think we covered everything from what I wanted to show today.
So,
I think it's just easygoing and it helps. Feel free to use it. You will not torture our GPUs, so and you will have better quality definitely and performance. So I would say go for it. And if you have any other questions or need more help on the topic, you know where to find us.
Exactly. And where can we find more about it, like documentation or tutorials? Well, first of all, of course, there will be this webinar when it goes online. That will be a tutorial in a way. Is there anything else that's planned for us to share about this?
Maybe let's talk about 1 minute about the NVRTX branch. You can maybe show the screen. So Karsten knows about it. I'm pretty sure. But Nvidia has a special branch, Unreal Engine branch. Lately they did also, they nailed it to 5.6 version. This thing has already integrated the DLSS plugin and everything, but not only. They have their nice tech features like direct illumination and some denoisers, all their technology, like sampled lighting. This is the feature that you can actually have a lot of lights, thousands of lights without having the drawback and stuff. It doesn't matter. So this is maybe a nice source on digging in. We personally have projects on the NVRTX branch. One is a project we did way back. This beast. Let's even check it out a bit. This is a Unreal 4, by the way, a 4 project, but here we used the NVRTX. If you scroll down, you will see the caustic branch. And we needed to simulate crystals as best as possible. And in this case, we used actually the Nvidia branch. That's why you can see on this one real-time caustics here from the light and stuff. And this is an old version even, by the way. I'm really fan of the NVRTX branch, digging in the tech because they have amazing stuff. But this is one project we used the NVRTX caustics branch back then. And I see now they even nailed it to 5.6. I'm really happy about it. I'm always thinking upgrading this project, but I never find the time. But yeah, this is maybe a nice source on to see what is Nvidia doing with their technology. They are doing a lot of stuff. I mean, this is another chapter by its own if you want to dig in. But we can maybe drop the link, or if you have a GitHub account, the only thing you need to do is connect your Nvidia developer account to the with Epic Games, and then you can have access to these branches. That's the only thing you need to do. And yeah, I think that's that.
Could you quickly send that link to me on
This one?
Teams? Yes, I'll just switch cameras so that people don't need to see things. Because Giovanni would be excited about that link.
Yeah, I will even send the source of the thing where you can see.
I think just Giovanni, you meant
It
the
will
link
not.
that you that's of the screen that Manolis showed just previously, right? Or is it something else that you are keen to see? Yes. So could you?
Yeah, I will.
Ah.
But wait, give me a sec. I want to, because you need an account, an Nvidia developer account,
Mm-hmm.
which is straightforward. You just do it, and then I want to find the resources.
Mm-hmm.
NVRTX, because they have a yeah. No, it's becoming a mess. I mean, this is also like a Microsoft site, slowly but surely. So much stuff.
And if there's anything we do not like, it is traffic jams. Are there any other questions outside of
But
the
yeah,
link
take
to
this
the
link.
GitHub?
Take this
Yes.
link. But I
Yeah, just
so I'm
share it to me. You have.
yeah, of course.
If there, please, if you have any questions, feel free to take the time to write them now. In the time that Manolis is sending me the link, so that I can then send it to you.
Yeah.
In the chat.
This is
Good.
the way.
I can go here. Then I go to here. Yes, copy link. Now on to you guys, and here we are.
Yeah.
So Giovanni, the link to our to the YouTube video, if we post it on our LinkedIn page or if we post it on Reddit, would it find your way? Do you think? Otherwise, if you are you already connected with Gosha or Eski, your account manager? Because then we can just tell her to send it to you once it's there.
So this is the link. Please send this link also to the guys.
Of course.
This is where kind of
Discord. It would also show up because not only does it automatically show up when
that's
I on Reddit.
That's what I was searching for, and this is kind of the whole thing. Custom Nvidia branch, talking about caustics, experimental stuff, everything, and then also has a on the branch side get started, and you can see how you can get access to this whole Nvidia Black Magic. Yeah.
Very good. No, so Giovanni, you'll be able to find it on Discord.
Yeah. This last link kind of tells the whole story and gives you the.
Yeah. And for YouTube stuff, I am guessing that we are going to stop the recording from today from like the very beginning. We're not going to upload. We're just going to upload the video afterwards after we cut out the beginning part, I suppose.
The initial 15 minutes.
Yeah, if we're going to cut that out, I suppose.
We always do it like
yeah, exactly. So that's why I suppose.
Unless it's super funny and.
I feel like this time I wasn't wearing my funny pants. So, gentlemen and ladies, is there anything left to discuss for today? Because you've been fantastic with sticking with us for so long. Our apologies for making it another marathon. So Giovanni is ready to head out. I think that goes for all of us. So thank you for being with us. Hope to see you next time. Like and subscribe to everything that we do. And if not, we're still going to think you're absolutely amazing. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.
Looking forward to seeing you next time. Have a good evening, rest of the day. Boom. Ciao.